Well, it's not a doc. It's a movie, 4-part movie based on, or you could call it a series, I guess, but it's shot like a movie. That's based on a real life story. In 1989, a jogger was jogging in Central Park and was beaten brutally and raped, and 5 kids between the ages of 14 and 16 went to jail for it. And some of them served like 7 years. One of them, I believe, was 14. And they were exonerated because someone admitted to the crime, and his DNA was the only DNA found at the crime scene. This guy that admitted. The kids that went to jail for it, none of their DNA was there. There was no evidence, no nothing that indicated them, besides the fact that they all admitted they were in Central Park. So I'm not from New York, but we happen to have a New Yorkie here. There's a New Yorker.
But before we go there,
that is a very big. That's not like Lafayette Park.
No.
That fucking thing is the size of the city, I believe.
Yes.
In the middle.
Yes.
It's like if you see an aerial shot of
it's his biggest
Central Park, it's like the entire middle of the city. Yeah. Okay, so the timestamps of when this is happening, the kids are creating havoc. They're randomly heckling people, hitting people, throwing rocks at people, just being asshole kids.
Allegedly.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm going to say later, like, we were asshole kids.
Yeah.
We did asshole shit, so I understand. I'm not incriminating them
for any
of this, because
I say allegedly because it was a bunch of kids. So you don't know if they did it.
These in particular, 5, right? They were saying 30 plus kids.
Yeah.
So what was happening was
that's normal.
A group of kids is walking through the city and they're like, hey, come on. And then me and Mel may be standing there and they're like, we're like, where are they going? Oh, we going to the park. We're going to the park. Okay, cool. And we go. And they were picking up kids on the way, just like that. People being curious.
Just imagine like you in your neighborhood and you see everybody you know going this way.
Everybody.
Yo, what the fuck y'all doing? We going to the park. Bet. Let's go. We're going to the park. So now everybody going to the park.
Right. And that's all it was. So they were there, but while they were there, some of them, not to say any of these 5, but these 5 were singled out, and they were coerced into confessing to the crime because they were being told by police, if y'all want to leave, you need to say you were there. You need to say, because there was a lot of pressure. I saw a documentary, like I did research before I watched the actual show, because the first thing I saw about it was this guy named Brandon Tate. He's a big Trump supporter, black guy. And I came across his YouTube and he said something about it, this Netflix series or whatever. So I clicked it and he bashed the shit out of it. And he's like, these kids are thugs. They were out there, they were beating up people, heckling people, throwing rocks at people, and they beat and raped this woman. And they went to jail for it, and now they're making this documentary, and it's one-sided, and it's making our police departments look bad, it's making our president look bad, all this stuff, right? That's all I knew about. I was 1989, I was like 8 years old. I don't remember this. So, and it was in New York, and I'm sure it was worldwide, so I went, and he said, y'all need to do your research. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I tried my best to find someone else to talk negative about this situation. I could not uncover a single other person, on YouTube at least, talking shit or negative about the situation. So I'm like, okay, now I want to see some facts. So there was, of course, over the years, they were exonerated in 2002.
2002.
Okay, so
they didn't get that money to 14.
Right, so that was years ago. So there's like a 2020 special and all that shit. So I watched it and I got to see a lot about it. Now back then, the times highly racial. The stock market had just started. It was bringing a lot of like rich people into the area, and this woman worked at the stock market, and she was out jogging, pretty little 20-something-year-old, 28-year-old white woman, blonde hair, stock market, jogging, right? So when this happened, there was extreme pressure. They want to arrest and they want it now, today. Well, one of the guys that was beaten up, now granted, this is on the whole other side of the park. Where the rape happened was a whole nother side of the park from where all this was reported. There were a couple crimes, petty crimes reported, like a beating
It's
here
Central
and
Park,
there.
like you know
Right.
better to be in Central Park at night.
Right. So a couple people got beat or whatever, throwing rocks at her, cursed at, whatever, wham, called the cops. All right. So the cops are there. These kids are scattered. They grab a few of them, and the kids knew nothing about anything that happened with this woman, and the cops don't either. They're responding to this. While at the station, they get word what happened to this woman. So now they automatically like, oh, well, we have these kids, and they did all this, so they did that too. Well, there was a lot of pressure in the show. It's a really well done show, and it's not one-sided and biased, like this guy was saying, because the show was well done. It showed both sides, and they didn't make the kids look like innocent little babies either. They were in the park. They were around when things were happening. They showed it. It's there. It's a really good show. It's really good. I mean, it sucks because it's a real. This happened to these people.
Yeah, but see, like the whole thing is the district attorney and all the cops pretty much put blame on these kids.
Right.
They didn't really try to find out who did.
And they knew they didn't.
Yeah,
that's
knew.
the thing. Because there was no DNA, but they had DNA, but it wasn't any of their DNA. So they knew.
They knew they didn't do it. The timeline.
But there was like a DA that was telling like the head DA like I can't prosecute.
Yeah,
this.
but she took this politics now.
Right.
Type shit. But what's her name? Not the DA who did
Not
this
the
shit.
bitch. Yeah.
The bitch I hate. I even hate this bitch so much. I hate the actress who played her.
Yeah.
That's serious. Like
I was thinking that.
and
I'm like that lady's not gonna be able to walk the street.
Yeah. I thought it Blake when I said that when I thought about this because he said you can't separate the actress from the art whatever. Like she played the shit so well.
It was bad.
I hate her.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see nothing with her in.
You need to watch it. Like it really is.
But the real lady name is Fairstein or some shit.
Fairstein.
Linda Fairstein.
Yes.
Linda Fairstein.
And she has been canceled.
Yeah.
She became a crime novel writer.
She wrote
like
like
fiction.
5-6 books.
Right.
Wow.
Right after all this shit.
And
So it's Linda Fairstein, right?
Yes.
yes.
The actress that plays her, Felicity Huffman, the one who's caught up in the whole USC admissions scandal.
Oh,
She
she's gonna be canceled too.
Yeah.
That's Frank from Showtime from Shameless. That's his real wife.
The bitch.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're married in real life.
Wow. I like Frank, but fuck his wife. I really don't like this lady because of what I seen. Like how she played that shit.
But it's
oh man.
I really dug, and I even spent time today after finishing the series. I'm like, I just want to see. I watched the confession tapes. They have the confession tapes for 4 of the boys. One of them they don't because his mom was like, "You're not."
Yeah, got him out of there.
Yeah, they the other parents kind of didn't know what was going on.
That's what pissed me off the most about this shit. Because these kids are young and your parents are in there and they see the cops talking to them, how they talking to them,
Should
coercing them to do something. They're like, hold up, when do you push the fucking stop button and say like, yo, hold up, we need a fucking lawyer.
And
not one time did nobody say I need a lawyer.
Kevin's dad was the worst because that's the one they told him.
No,
you
that
need
was
to make your son.
Antoine.
The young kid, the little.
No, that was
that's Kevin.
No, the young one. That's the one that got hit in the face.
Yeah.
With the thing. No, that wasn't his dad.
Omar wasn't his dad.
No, that was the other kid's dad.
Oh, okay. So the guy that plays Omar on The Wire is one of the dads, and the cops actually convinced him to go tell his kid to tell them what they want to hear, and he can go home. So they had these little 14-year-old children believing They had him in there for hours. They couldn't use the bathroom, they said.
24,
Didn't feed
24
him
hours or something.
nothing. Didn't feed him nothing. Had him in there, and they're like, all you got to do is implicate other people. Out of the 5, 2 of them knew each other. The rest of them didn't know each other.
Never seen each other. Never knew each other.
So it's like if us,
he did it.
so if it's us 4
He
get
didn't
picked
do it.
up, none of us know each other. All right, and they go to Shane and they're like, look, were you there with Blake? Were you there with Blake? And you're like, who's Blake? What about Jamel and Jason? I don't know who these people are. Well, all right, you need to say they did it then. You need to say they did something, and then eventually, this is what happened.
They were like,
But then-
what did you do?
On the tapes, I watched them, the full tapes. You could see that they can't even remember the other kids' names. Like they're like, and who did that? Who held her down? And he's like, Shane, and who's the other one? Steve. Like Steve is not
Yeah,
one of
Steve.
Yeah, so they're like, wait, well, who's Steve? And he's like, well, I mean, you could tell on the tapes. You could tell. So what they end up doing is those tapes showing them all together in the same courtroom was going to blow the case because they were going to see everything was different. So they were able to split the trials to where they could show like 2 of them got tried together and 3 of them got tried together to where the tapes didn't look, the jury is seeing 3 of them and they were able to doctor them up to where they seemed consistent, like they were telling the same story. It was sick. And I just think of me as a 14, 15-year-old, and I think of anything stupid that I could have done that could have put you in this position, because they're saying just because you're in Central Park, this happened. So we used to go to the movie theater a lot, let's say. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the Palace movie theater. It was this giant movie theater, right? In Elmwood. We're in there. There's 20 different theaters. We're all there. Someone's at the top of the theater getting raped, but none of us know it because it's too loud and we're on row 1. They're 25 seats up. All right. Girl gets out. She tells the cops or something. Now there's cops outside and they're grabbing all of us. Just because we're there, we could be told to be guilty or knowing something about it.
In the 80s.
That's basically what this was. And of course, there was crazy racial talk. Like the way this woman said, every black kid, something like every black kid is a suspect.
Everybody thugs.
Get these
gangbang.
animals in here. We're gonna put them in cages. Like the way they talk, it was insane.
Who said that?
This is
Linda
the
Fairstein.
Linda Fairstein. Right. And then on top of that, okay, so back to Brandon Tatum, he's saying they're making the president look bad, right?
Right.
They showed actual footage. This was not an actor, this was footage. This motherfucker took out an ad. He paid thousands.
80,000.
Took out a whole page ad, bring back the death penalty, kill him. And they were saying that the oldest one should be killed and the rest of them whipped with a horse whip or something.
And
That's it. He said
Who
this.
bought this ad? Your president.
Donald Trump.
Yes,
Trump.
your president.
Donald Trump.
my president.
Your
President.
And this is of course, this was back in the day. He was he a Wall Street guy?
No, he's in real estate.
So he was like something big in New York.
He was big in real estate.
And I saw clips of
Oh,
like
shit.
He'll be alright.
that guy died.
He did that on purpose.
Flopped.
He'll be alright. Yeah, so anyway, there was just so much racial tension and shit. Like it's insane.
Yeah, this shit is crazy as shit.
And what really is really powerful and fucked up and crazy is part 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's 3 parts. Part 4, the entire thing almost is about
Corey Wise.
Corey Wise, who was the 16-year-old, got tried as an adult. So he's the one that had to do 14 years in a real prison as a child.
Yes.
The rest
But
of them went to like
see,
juvie.
in the state of New York, at the age of 16,
You're an adult.
You are an
And
adult.
that's what I was wondering. And I'm like, because was that just a back in the day thing? Or is
it's
that,
always been that way.
because you were a fucking child when you're 16.
You're going to right.
And this
Trust me,
kid,
I know.
this kid is in a prison.
In the Rikers.
He's getting beat.
You don't talk about
It
murder.
is. It's just crazy. It-
Goddamn.
It was crazy.
But
But it was really
the only
it was-
reason why he did 14 is because every time he went to parole,
he
he wouldn't admit to doing that crime.
right.
He's like, yo, you meant to take responsibility.
They said you need to show remorse and admit to all of your
He
crimes.
couldn't do that.
He just couldn't do it.
But he went through hell.
Yes.
He went through hell. The guards beat his ass. They would beat because he was known for the Central Park Five. The
They
man-
thought
the
he
man who
was a
raped-
little punk
yeah.
that raped a woman.
Right.
So they said that
And he wasn't even there.
He wasn't in the
He
park.
wasn't in the park.
right.
He was
That's
with
what
the girl.
yes. That's what's crazy.
He went downtown with his homeboy because he said if the cop said you want to go down with your friend, make sure he's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so they had a list. They were looking for the specific kid. And the cop said, okay, he meets the description because he was a tall, slim black guy with a flat top, so he was easy to spot. And he said, hey, what's your name? And he said, and he's like, he's on the list. They're like, who the fuck are you? He said his name, Corey Wise. They're like, he's not on the list. So then the guy's like, oh, that's okay. You want to come down and keep your friend company? We're just going to ask him a few things. Kid says okay because he's like, my mom will kill me if I don't, or his mom will kill me if I don't. So he goes. Well, he ends up getting in the mix of the shit and goes to prison, and he's getting his ass whooped. I mean, almost to death a couple times.
Mhm.
And
He spent all his time pretty much in solitary confinement.
and that's because one of the cops said, next time you get beat, and it'll happen again, you need to say you want to go to solitary or you're going to get killed. Because when you go to
You're a
the
snitch.
infirmary,
You're a
they
snitch.
say you're a snitch because you're normally going to be in there snitching. So if you say, just put me in solitary, you're out in the way. So this kid spent like probably years of that
The
sentence.
guards were beating his ass for what?
It wasn't the guards.
It was the prison.
It was the prison.
The prisoners, but
Yeah.
the guards allowing it. They,
Treated like-
the guards allowing this
And
shit.
there was one white guard, and obviously this is true because it was a long part in the movie, but the guy was good to him. He was really good to him
Mhm.
and took care of him and watched out for him. But he was told that he should transfer, and the cop's like, "Are you sure you want to do that? You know, I got it made." He had it to where to get him out of solitary, he would mop and stuff, but after everyone was away. So he was by himself mopping, but that was his way of getting him out of that room and getting him out. And he could watch TV and mop, and you know, he was cool to him. He was good to him, but
14 years of this shit.
yeah,
14 years.
it was
This is
enough.
before, I guess, DNA was really like
Right.
popping.
So he gets in a fight, a random fight with a kid.
Uh-huh.
And then years later, or I don't know the time differential after the fight, but he ends up meeting him again at a different prison. The guy comes up and says, "You remember me?" And he says,
Yeah, he remembered him. He was like, yeah.
yeah, he remembered him, but he didn't want to fuck with him. He
Yeah.
thought he wanted like another fight.
Mhm.
And he's like, "No, I turned my life to the Lord or whatever." He's like, "I'm just surprised you're still here." And he knew what he was there for, right?
Right.
And he eventually, that guy admits to the crime. He's the real person. He's a serial rapist, and he committed multiple rapes
That
in
night.
the fucking area.
That night.
In the fucking area, and they didn't even. The cops knew it. The cops were investigating this guy, Ramirez, I think.
Some shit like that. But
Okay.
he confessed to that already.
Right,
When they
because he
caught him, when they caught him, he confessed to that, and then, but the cops never put two and two together and asked him about the woman in the park.
So the dude who actually did the crime beat the guy who was falsely accused his ass because of the crime. he
No.
committed?
This was over a TV.
Okay,
Total
this was-
different
okay.
shit.
Nah, I don't say he beat his ass.
Damn.
No, it was just a tussle,
Yeah, it
and
was.
it got broken up. But what it was is Corey couldn't hear well,
Yeah.
and the TV was up loud, and this guy goes and turns it down. So Corey's like, "Turn the TV up," and he says, "No, I'm good. I like it how it is." So Corey turns it up. Well, the guy wanted a fight now, so they tussled, but quickly guards got there
Okay.
and broke it up or whatever. But Corey had transferred to another prison, and then this guy ends up in that prison. This has got to be at least a year later or something. But he sees him like in the yard,
Mm-hmm.
and he approaches him, and they have the conversation. But they supposedly don't even discuss. Like he don't even tell him, "I'm the guy." he tells the police that he felt bad because he turned his life to the Lord and stuff. He said, when I saw this kid still here, I felt bad for him the second time.
Dick.
He said the first time I was heartless, I didn't give a fuck. The second time, I can't believe this kid's still here. So they all five, this guy admits to it,
Yeah.
his DNA is all over her, and he describes the scene exactly. Where'd you hit her in the head? It matches up. What did you use? It matches up. Everything matches up to the scene. These kids couldn't describe the scene. They were being told the scene. They were being interrupted while I asked the question.
They was put on the scene because even in the,
Right.
the initial thing, the lady was like, "This happening over here," and the rape or whatever happened here.
They took Corey to the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
During the interrogations, he couldn't put it together. So they're like, "Is this?
Yeah, they showed them
This is
pictures.
where you drove."
They showed them pictures and shit,
Right.
and all that, and like, "Yo, you right here." Show me.
They
what
were
come down
putting
this
it in
trail.
their heads. They
Yeah.
were brainwashing these kids. And I could just picture at 14, I'd be like, whatever, just get me out of here. What do you, that in their minds, that's what they thought. What they should have done, I mean, obviously, but they didn't know back then, was just lawyer immediately. Lawyer.
Right. I don't
And you
have
shut
to
up
answer
and you let him,
But
you
they,
tell
but
him.
they didn't think they did anything wrong.
It-
They
Exactly.
did, because they
That's
did.
how, that's how you did.
Well, they were nervous because of the other activity. Because they were out there doing shit, possibly, or
I
with.
don't even think they was nervous for that. I'm just thinking, police got you. You're a young kid. Police got you. They
Right,
told
you're scared.
You're gonna
You're
be
scared.
scared.
Yeah, you're scared. It's not even
Automatic.
because all that shit
Especially
is
back
adolescent
then.
fun. Yeah, you know what I'm
Especially-
saying?
I mean, it's still fucked up now, but especially back then in New York from what they were showing.
Mhm.
Because I saw a documentary of the tension back then in New York City.
New York City was a rough city in the
It was
80s.
fucking
was high in the
crazy.
80s.
It was crazy.
I love my fucking city. You heard?
They were saying it's like right when crack hit and stuff like
Yes.
that.
It was a rough city.
It was
man.
all like, oh, another thing that pissed me off was the cops took the word wilding, okay, and they were like,
Wild out.
we don't know because no one knows where it came from. They're like, did anyone say anything? They had a big group of kids in a room. They were bringing them to family court at first, and then they're like, oh no, we got to rape. These kids are not going nowhere. But the cop said, yeah, they were wilding, and she says, excuse me, what? And he said, I don't know. That's what one of them said. Now, like you're saying, what it probably was, I don't know, man. We were just wilding out. You know? So then they took that as wilding. This shit was on headlines everywhere. That it was something that kids do when they go out and beat and rape people and rob people.
God
Yeah,
Wilding.
it's called wild.
It's called wilding. And the kids are doing it on purpose. They're like, let's go wild. We're wilding. And they made it a thing. And that's something else that really, it's a disturbing show to watch, but it's really well done. It's good. And the last part just broke my soul. Like seeing this kid and the shit he's going through, and it's all for fucking nothing. Because he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Even if he did throw rocks at people or anything, I go back to the story I told with the paintball incident. Could you picture that one of the houses we hit with a paintball so happens that inside someone's getting raped and beaten, and we have nothing to do with it? But then
Placed there.
the cops were placed there because we're shooting at the house or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm a kid back then, and say they rough me up, and they're like, we need to know who did that and all that. Well, you got, boom. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
wild.
president would have you killed.
I mean,
But them
and
dudes ended up getting 41 million. But it was
collectively,
yeah, collectively.
and
but
they said a lot of that went to lawyers.
Yeah.
And a lot of other shit too. Like they each got,
yeah, because they had sued them.
and it was
for that
also
shit.
by the time that they served. So they said Corey got the most.
Yeah, he has.
Because I saw him. But they each got like a couple million. Besides Corey got like
Yeah,
probably.
if it was all split even, it would have been 8 million a piece or some shit like
Right.
that. But he
Right.
got more because he did 14. Because
He
he said,
should.
fuck that.
And he got his ass. They
Yeah.
probably didn't get the whipping he got.
Lawyers,
All
tax
for
some
nothing.
of that too.
Yeah, but fuck, that's all just, it's just bullshit.